Hello everybody. The title of this video is A Fraud and a Fake, and I'm referring to myself in this case because I think we all have strengths and weaknesses, and in this case I'm going to be focusing a little bit on my weaknesses, on my limitations. So coming from the idea of making these videos, my art, my process, my methodology, basically the way in which I do things can have a type of boundary, right? A type of limitation. And I wanted to discuss this and kind of develop this idea because I think I have an overarching theory with all of my videos, right? Which I think to a certain extent is kind of like stimulating the brain, making you think, right? But I also have weaknesses, and these weaknesses, I would consider one of them, for example, is I work very fast. So this means that I work with inspiration, merely inspiration, only inspiration, passionate, right? So I have an idea, and I need to talk about this idea as soon as possible, make a video, and then be done with that idea, right? Now, I think that's bad because I don't develop the idea any further. I don't research, I don't dig deeper, I don't investigate. I just kind of like cover it on the surface and let's continue, let's go on to the next idea, right? Now, this is beneficial because it allows me to make videos like very quickly, but it's also bad because I don't consider other angles, right? And you can say, well, that's kind of fraudulent, that's kind of fake because you're talking about philosophy, for example, philosophical topics, and you're not a philosopher. You're talking about psychological topics, and you're not a psychologist, right? And that's true. I'm not. I'm neither of those. I don't have any experience in any of these fields. I don't have any degrees. I don't have any evidence to support any of my claims. I don't have any I haven't done any experiments, social experiments. Everything I'm talking about, I'm just saying it because I've just thought about it. And in a way, I kind of expect my way of thinking about things to kind of like contribute to humanity to a certain extent. But you could say that's like pretentious, right? Because I I like to follow in the lead of like the greats, I call them, right? Like the great thinkers of our time, right? Like from Jesus to Gandhi to Carl Jung to Sigmund Freud to Karl Marx, like all these people that developed basically schools of thought, right? Which is kind of my intention. And you could say, you're not that cool, you're not that great, you don't even have, like an active social life to be expecting that type of reward. And you would be right. So if you were to call me a fraud or a fake, you would also be right because, like I mentioned, I don't have any degrees on this. All I have is what I read during the day, the videos I watch, and my mind, what I think about this, right? And if I were to discuss it with someone, then that would be, like the cherry on the ice on the cake, right? Which I would like to do. I would like to further develop these ideas, maybe engage. But I think I am very limited in the sense that like I don't really have support, right? Now I'm not trying to blame anybody, right? Because this is just me. So you could say you're just pretentious. You're just acting like a philosopher or like a psychologist. You don't really have any of, who are you? But then I would say it's like, who am I? Who are you to be asking those questions, right? There are a lot of people throughout history that haven't had the degrees in their field, yet they did what they did anyway, and I kind of base myself on that. Now, might I succeed? Might I fail in life with my goals or these type of goals? Who knows? Maybe I'll fail horribly, and I won't even ever be considered as like a thinker, right? Which would be like one of my goals. And that's fine, but at least I can say I tried, right? I attempted. Now you could say you didn't really try because all you were doing was like recording yourself talking about random topics throughout, the weeks and the months and the years. And you would be right. So this video is about focusing on my limitations, on my weaknesses, right? And kind of seeing them. I don't do deliberate research. One of my weaknesses is that I get the inspiration, but it's like a spark, and I just go with it, and it's short lived, right? So I don't really further develop the ideas, or if it's like, okay, we're gonna talk about lying, right? But you need to actually like investigate what authors have said, like in school, like in college, you need to investigate what has been said about it, the definitions, the experiments, like everything, and then reach a conclusion, and then test your hypothesis and all this. I could do it, but I feel like there's just so much that I want to like learn about, that doing that on a particular topic might be counterproductive to what I'm trying to achieve. I mean, I could do it, right? But there's also that factor, I'm not gonna lie, that you do get tired after some time of working on the same topic, right? That's why I'm reading like 20 books at one time, because I can't stay with one book for too long, right? I read a couple pages, then I kind of get bored of it, and I move on to the next one, and I just have cycles of books, right? So I was gonna talk about the synonyms of lying, and in this case, they're equivocator, right? Storyteller, which I thought was kind of interesting. So it could be like, if you really want to look at me as a fraud, that's okay. You can look at me. These are synonyms that you can find on the internet. Storyteller. So you're just entertaining, right? You're just like a clown. I'm just someone that's that you watch to kind of pass the time. Don't take me seriously. Even though I say things confidently or very seriously, just don't take me seriously, right? That's just part of the act. I'm a storyteller. Deceiver, falsifier, right? Teller of untruths, which would basically, all of these combine, these last three combine lying, right? So what you're really saying is a half truth, a half lie, or you're just plain out lying, which I'm like, well, whatever, if you want to think that. Or misinformation, right? You're just misinforming, disinforming, right? Which disinforming is like doing it intentionally, right? In this case, it would just be misinforming, like it's not intentional, it's not targeted, it's not deliberate, it's not political. And romancer. So romancer has that characteristic of emotion, which is passion, right? Which is just, like a romantic person that just falls in love, and you're awestruck by whatever it is you see, but it's only like 10% of the thing, right? Like a person that has just fallen in love is infatuated with the new knowledge, with that new thing, or with that new person, whatever it is, but it's not all of it, right? It's like, and I attribute that to my Taurus sign, the second sign of the zodiac. I am a young sign, so my mentality is childish in that way, but I also think it allows me to be creative, right? And possibly in the future develop ideas like Tauruses, like Karl Marx, Sigmund Freud, that actually marked history. So just to kind of finish this off, I vow, and this is something that that I could say, I vow I shall avoid becoming stubborn or dogmatic, right? This means that I'm not going to try to impose a theory or impose new knowledge, right? Like I just kind of like explain it and let you think about it for yourself. And I may be wrong, I may contradict myself, I may not even come back to something I said before. That's okay. For me, this is a process, right? This is a process of personal growth, but I'm using a platform to do it on, right? So if you want to call me a fraud or a fake, that's okay. I'll do that to myself. I recognize that, but that's just part of the whole. All right. So that's all I got for this video. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. Peace.